Hey, welcome back, man. I know it's been a minute. I'm not a full-time YouTuber, not quite yet. So it's been like, what, a month or two since I've been on here. And there's so many good movies out. You know, this time of year is Oscar. They put out the Oscar type movies from like October through April. So you see a lot of good dramas out. Like, look, I'm still going to do Till. I'm still going to do Woman King. I'm still going to do Wakanda Forever, of course. It's just that they're going to be considered old by social media standards, the reviews, by the time I do them. I am going to try to get them out there in the next week or two. There's also a few stuff on Netflix, but I'm coming to you tonight because I did watch something and I said, you know what, as soon as I watch it, I'm going to do my review. Love, Lizzo, which is on HBO MAX, as pretty much like a documentary. It's pretty much following her, giving a little backstory, and also following her, like, you know, through the pandemic when it first started in March 2020, and like her on the road and writing music and some of the stories behind her music and everything. I will say this. I did watch the Lizzo Here Come the Big Girls when she was auditioning for Backup Dancers, which is on Amazon Prime, and I love that. My daughter and I watched that. So I decided to watch this, and I did not expect to shed tears. Like, I really did. There were some moments where she talked. You know, her father was a big influence on her, and he ended up passing before she got, you know, big. You know, she was just Melissa when he passed, and he didn't get to see the Lizzo that we get to see. Let me just get a little more in the camera. That we get to see. So I was like, oh. And of course she writes, if not all of her music, if she doesn't write all of her music, she writes most of it. I do know that. And so some of her biggest hits have come from like actual heartbreaks and everything. And so I can always appreciate an artist that puts their soul in their music. Like, don't ask me why, but I can usually tell when an artist wrote their song or not. It's like you can just feel their emotion and soul in it. You know what I mean? It's kind of weird. But anyway, I actually was a fan of Lizzo before she got like super big. Like in 2016, I heard the song on BET J or Centric. It changes their name every few years. But I heard her song called Excuse Me on there, and I was like, okay, you know, when I was listening to her then, I think she got hot like maybe, or mainstream hot, I'll say this, mainstream hot like 3 years later. One thing she mentioned about her being mainstream, which is something that a lot of black artists have to deal with, is once you go mainstream, aka white people, once white people start accepting your music and all this, loving you, a lot of times black people look at it like, man, you know, you make music for them, you sold out, blah, blah, blah. And she was saying in her documentary, like, you know, black is what I am, like, you can't take that away from me, you know what I'm saying? And one thing I feel like we need to get rid of in our community is this idea that there's only a certain way to be black. I'm so glad that the quote-unquote weird alternative black people are coming out into open space. You know, the Steve Lacy, Lizzo, you know, Issa Rae did Awkward Black Girl on YouTube like 10 years ago. Like, I consider myself to be an awkward weird because, you know, I don't fit into that box that we have for ourselves. And I really wish back when I was in high school, you know, there was no social media. I graduated in 05. I think YouTube came out in 04 and everything else was past that. So when I was coming up, there wasn't really an outlet for being different. And I remember so many times trying to be something I wasn't. And whenever you try to fake it, people are going to know it. They're going to know. So for her speaking on that, I definitely commend that. Like, that's something we definitely need to talk about more often, is the gothic black people, the alternative, the people like to listen to rock, like wear funny looking clothes and everything like that. Like, for instance, my daughter, she used to like cowboy boots or cowgirl boots. That was her thing. And her dad, who's really big on fitting into boxes, kind of talked her out of it, and I told her, you have to be you. Because I'm in my mid-30s, and I'm just now starting to be comfortable with being me. Okay? So we all know, back to Lizzo, that she plays a flute, and so many things I like about her is, and I know a lot of people like to focus on the fact that, oh, she's a fat black woman, she's doing the stereotypes of the mammy, and I don't really want to get into all that hotep stuff, that's hotep talk, all this stuff, again, fitting into boxes. But when you look past the weight part, look at some of the things she's bringing into the public eye, like the flute. Like, when the last time you saw somebody play a flute on stage? And she could play it very well. It's not like she's just do and then hop off the stage. Sister can go, okay? So to bring that to the forefront, like, youth need to see musicians playing instruments, being exposed to different things. I think that is great that she exudes this confidence in herself to be like, look, I was a band geek. The band person's not supposed to be popular. Everybody's supposed to want to be like a jock or cheerleader somewhat. So I guess in a nutshell, I just feel like Lizzo speaks, and it's not just, like I said, to her weight and her being a fat black woman or being fat or obese or plus size. There's so much more to her, and I feel like that documentary really did show that. We got to see, her actually crying in real time about, not that her crying was entertainment, but I mean, we got to see her showing her emotion about a breakup that was happening in real time while she was recording. It happens. Also, I remember, I think it was last year, her and Cardi B had a song out, and people were jumping on it in the comments, calling her a mammy or so. Like, I really don't see what black people get out of. I'm not gonna sit here and say I've never said some crazy stuff to another black person that would be considered a derogatory term, but a lot of y'all, it's like, if someone disagrees with you, you're a pick me. I mean, damn. It sounds like to me I probably need to make a video about that because I keep going back to it. But yes, so Lizzo, Love, Lizzo on HBO Plus. It was a nice documentary. I'm not a huge documentary person. I watch them from time to time, but I really did enjoy this. Like I said, I also enjoyed her Here Come the Big Girls on Amazon Prime, which is Prime, which was a reality show, her finding backup dancers and stuff. That was a little bit more about the dancers. This documentary was more about her. I actually thought she was from Minnesota, born and raised, but she's actually from Detroit and then moved to Houston and then moved to Minnesota. And she's very inspiring, man, because she's pretty much the same age as me. She's a year younger. And I'm calling myself a late bloomer because I still haven't delved. Is that a word? Dived into my passions, but it's slowly coming. You will see me progress in the next few months, I promise you. But I'm finna lay down. As you can see, I am in my PJs, head wrap. I am ready to go. I gotta get up and work my little retail job. It's Black Friday tomorrow, so please keep me in your thoughts and prayers because you already know what it's gonna be like. Anyways, look for them reviews coming up, and I will make sure to be here more often because I really do like talking to y'all. My 26 subscribers, last time I checked it was 26. Thank you for sticking in there with me, man. I got some stuff for you coming up 2023. As always, peace and blessings, and y'all have a good one.